Okay, hi there, this is Al Williamson. I decided to cut this quick video for my car because we're right in the middle of closing down this launch for niche rentals, and I wanted to put together a little explainer video to help you understand what's going on and address some questions that have been coming up. So this presentation is called How to Reach Your Financial Freedom Without 100 Rentals and Toilets. Let's get into it. Okay, here's the problem I see. If you get a standard loan, typical loan, which is 80% loan to value, whatever your investment is, the cash flow you make is pretty much consumed by maintenance and things like that. You need to bring in quite a bit more cash flow so that you can actually pocket money and save for expenses. That's what I'm saying. If you're just operating as a traditional landlord, that cash flow that you're getting, if you're not putting money aside each month, then and you're living off that cash flow, then you're really not making any money, because when it's time to paint or repair the roof, you're going to have to go get a loan. So providing housing services is just so much more profitable. This is easily twice, and if not, some people have it up to 20% more profitable. Okay, so with the exact same property, you can change how you operate and make quite a bit more money. And that is what niche rentals is about. It's about a training program and coaching with me so that we can get through the process of switching into different, more lucrative markets. So you're not limited. Market rates limit you. There's plenty of other markets that are more lucrative. Let's get into it. So after I figured out how to generate so much ancillary income or side income to pay the mortgage for my 8-unit building back in 2015, I realized something. I had a spark of insight, and I was in my car, I had to pull over to figure it all out. But I figured out there's two mechanisms. One was I was switching markets, and the other one I was adding on these other profit centers, different things I can rent, and different configurations to get my income up. Each time I switched to market, I was able to add on more profit centers, more side income. So that's how it worked. But let me tell you more specifically just about market switching. That's what niche rentals is all about. Is I started off with a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that I was doing this experiment on. And as a traditional landlord, I was making about $200. And of course, that's not good enough for me. So I realized after being inspired by Nick Scadotti that I could rent out each room to medical students and do peer housing. And that's the perfect thing to do if your area is not a Class A neighborhood. At the time, it was a low B, mid C, but people wanted to live there. So I started renting directly to medical students, and they had no problem living with each other. So I rented each room to them, and I was able to double my profits, a little bit more than double my profits. So I started netting, this is my net income, is $470. Okay, so if you are in a neighborhood that's not the greatest, and you're dealing, and there are people want a nice place, but they can't afford a nice place, and there you can find them in every neighborhood, then doing a dormitory type of niche housing is perfect. This works in Class A neighborhoods. People take mansions and they rent out rooms because there's a big demand for that neighborhood, but of course not everyone can afford to live there, but they can afford a room. So that's what's happening. They rent rooms and housing by the slice. That's the dormitory model. And to take another step up, I moved into Airbnb because I realized the same unit configuration was renting out more on Airbnb. So I opened up an Airbnb offering for that same 2-bed, 1-bath and started bringing in $1,400 a month. And that increased my income by 3.3%. And I realized, hey, all this cleaning, sending my cleaner over to clean it, that's my biggest expense. So how about if I do longer term stays? So that's why I started doing monthly rentals, and it was quite a bit more profitable for me. But when I started screening just for monthly people, I got a lot of inquiries from traveling nurses. So I decided just to focus on them. Again, I'm switching markets away from and becoming more specific. I'm starting to focus just on traveling nurses now. They stay for 90 days at a time. So I was really lowering my cleaning costs. And that's how I got my income up for the same unit 5.3 times what I would have been doing as a traditional landlord. So if you are, let's go back down here. If you are in a regular neighborhood, no matter what neighborhood you are, you can double your income, double that net. And I'll help you do that because I've done it in the good conditions and bad conditions. And I can show you about Airbnb, coach you into that, and show you all the tips and tricks on that. And again, I want you to do monthly stays or longer. That's the perfect ideal thing for a landlord because you can do focus on business travelers who need extended stays. Again, you don't want to do a lot. You want to keep your cleaning costs down. And you may find a particular niche like housing pilots or housing truckers or housing linemen who are dealing with electrical lines and issues, and they're working for a period of time from a particular area. There's all kinds of niches all around, but once you expose yourself on Airbnb or all these other travel websites, then you start seeing all these opportunities. Let me tell you about Connie and Paul. They were in Kansas. They're ranchers. They knew everything about this. In fact, they were doing short-term housing, but they realized they could do more if they exposed themselves to a larger market. So I worked with them, got their ads together, and they took one of my courses, and we worked close together. And they put it on Airbnb and got booked for 30 days straight. Their $50 bunkhouse or $50 studio got booked for 30 days straight. So what happened? Well, Mars Chocolate opened up in their area, and they forgot about that, and they weren't exposed to the Mars didn't know about them. So by going on Airbnb, they realized that that was their opportunity, and they started booking people, the corporate people coming to that factory, and now they can build relationships directly with that factory and cut Airbnb out. So my question to you, will that you be my next success story? There's some hidden benefits. There's your property's well maintained. You get reserves, and you can have increased rates. It's a great thing. So there's a 30-day guarantee. Go check it out. The course ends tonight at midnight. Okay,